In the 21st century, Miaomiao woke up and traveled through a special era of material scarcity, becoming the top-notch granddaughter of the Liu family in the 1970s. She was also a pitiful little girl betrayed by her cousin and fiancé at the same time. Let's see how she uses her golden finger system to trample on the top, abuse the scum, and lead her whole family to reform and become rich, becoming the most admirable, good comrade, in the entire commune. First chef, first divine doctor, first master of traditional Chinese medicine, first researcher, first alchemist, first she, who was originally solely focused on earning money for retirement, suddenly fell in love with the man she had personally saved. Comrade Miaomiao, you saved me. I came to repay my kindness with my own life. Comrade Miaomiao, it is because of you that I can pick up this gun again. From now on, I will treat you like a gun in my hand, cherish and cherish it. Comrade Miaomiao. Miaomiao was speechless and looked up to the sky. She just wanted to take the college entrance exam, earn enough money, and then buy a house, and then buy a house. Her lifelong wish was to live in her own courtyard, eat, drink and be a happy and leisurely salted fish. There's really no need for anything else. P.S. Parallel overhead 70. One-sentence summary. With the abuse system in hand, getting rich is not a dream. Motto. As long as you work hard, being a scumbag, you can always get what you want and create a better life. Chapter 1. Kidnapping. Crossing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pop. Miaomiao suddenly opened her eyes, and the scene that caught her eye instantly stunned her to the ground. That's right, 22-year-old Miaomiao, a gnawing old man, is now lying on a bumpy yellow soil, and her slightly painful forehead clearly tells her that this moment is unusual. Kidnapping. Crossing. Her mind is clear and conscious, her hands and feet are free, and it is obvious that she is not being kidnapped. In addition, her father's pitiful assets of several $100,000 are not likely to be kidnapped. So, it's time to travel. Miaomiao pretended to have a headache and reached out to stroke his forehead, his gaze beginning to observe the people and things around him. A uniform coarse cloth garment, a large front top, blue straight-leg pants, self-made round buttons on the fabric strips, and patches stacked on top of the garment. At this moment, she was surrounded by a crowd in the middle. From the eyes of these people, her face was dark, her body was thin, and she looked as if she couldn't eat enough or wear warm clothes. Miaomiao was very puzzled as to where he had traveled. Having short hair is definitely not ancient, but in modern times, it's a bit too poor, unless right? She won't wear it back in the 1960s or 1970s, will she? Don't worry, she's a gnawing old tribe who can't sew, cook, farm, or endure hardship. Back in that era, she starved to death every minute. And what is the situation now? In the endless fields, the golden rice is clearly ripe. Isn't it the most difficult double grab next? Not far ahead, there was a man and a woman lying on the ground like her, but unlike her, they were beaten and fell to the ground. It is obvious that this is a scene of catching adultery, and the men and women who were beaten are adulterers and prostitutes, while the body she passed through was a pitiful little scumbag. And at that moment, she was suddenly slapped on the back, followed by a strong voice in her ear. You useless little girl, you don't have the temperament of my Lao Lu family not to suffer losses at all. You've been bullied by others, and you know you're crying and dying, and you can't fart a fart. Who do you think you followed? Miaomiao blinked and turned his head to look at the old lady next to him. Her hair was grayish, her face was full of wrinkles, and her fierce expression when speaking made her look like a tough old lady from a farming family. Are you still lying still? Why don't you go pick up that seductive guy who robbed your fiancée? Can't I, the old lady, do it myself? The old lady pushed her with a resentful expression, and continued with a face full of anger. I've heard that Yi Weijun is now a temporary worker at a meat joint factory, earning a monthly salary of over 10 yuan. You can't beat Lu Yanhong by any means. The old lady's words instantly reminded Lu Miaomiao that she had really returned to an era where she couldn't eat enough or wear warm clothes, and entering a factory was also an era of iron rice bowls. What a pity. Lu Miaomiao was so urged by the old lady that he had no choice but to climb up from the ground and slowly walk towards the two groups of people fighting fiercely. Seeing her coming, the Lu family members, who were beating people unilaterally, stopped and stood behind her as if to say, "Daughter, niece, sister, don't be afraid to go ahead." Lu Miaomiao pushed the duck onto the shelf and headed towards the adulterer's side. If he had to choose between the two, it would have been better for him to maximize his benefits. She walked up to the ragged scum man and looked down at him first. She was like a man who cut a chicken for nothing. How could she be so charming? Lu Miaomiao lowered his head, closed his eyes, and brewed his emotions for a moment. Then, as he looked up again, he slapped the adulterer's face with all his might. The bustling crowd suddenly quieted down, all staring at her dumbfounded, especially the pig-head face in front of her showing an incredulous expression. Ding dong, the golden finger system is online, please check it. Ding dong, successfully beat a scumbag once and earn 5 points. Lu Miaomiao's eyes lit up, completely ignoring whether others doubted him, and he slapped him with all his might. Oh, the right side was asymmetrical, so he lifted his left hand again and slapped his right face twice, pa. Ding dong, successfully beat the scumbag 3 times and earned 15 points. Upon hearing the warning sound, Lu Miaomiao immediately transformed into a small person and shook his right foot with a thud. Ha, we also have people with golden fingers, don't slap us too much. However, before she could understand the purpose of this integral, she was suddenly pushed back 2 big steps by a brute force. Okay, you're a Lu Miaomiao. Judging from your usual slow and honest demeanor, you're very clever at hitting people. Who allowed you to hit my son? Do you really want to enter the gate of my family? This middle-aged woman who appeared in front of Lu Miaomiao and couldn't stop talking is Wu Dahua, the biological mother of an underground scumbag. Her push instantly ignited the anger of the Lu family, and the 3-daughter-in-law of the Lu family rushed to confront Lu Miaomiao without saying a word. Oh, do you really think that whoever speaks loudly makes sense? Don't even think about what your son did, that was shameful. He's thrown out of the Dongha Brigade. Li, the daughter-in-law of the Lu family, shouted angrily. Little pitiful mother Chen Xiaoya angrily reached out her hands and forcefully pushed Wu Dahua to the ground, saying angrily, "Who allowed you to push my daughter again? Just your promiscuous son, our seedlings still don't like it." What kind of thing? Lu Miaomiao stared at them in shock as they fought back and forth. Especially Ding Xia, the 3-daughter-in-law of the Lu family, was a ruthless move. The bloodstains on Wu Dahua's face were all from her hands. Is it okay to keep going like this? Even if it's reasonable, it's no longer reasonable. Lu Miaomiao quickly shouted loudly, "Stop! Stop fighting!" Her voice was hoarse and thunderous, and everyone immediately stopped and looked at her. Cough. Lu Miaomiao cleared his throat and pretended to be a little pitiful, crying softly. Don't fight anymore. This is the end of the matter, and I can only compromise. Miaomiao, what are you saying? They're sorry for you. What kind of grievance do they want you to compromise on? Chen Xiaoye patted her. The other members of the Lu family also glared at her with hatred towards him, but when Yi Weijun did such shameless things, could she not bear to let him marry into the Yi family? Lu Miaomiao ignored them and continued, "Let's take care of his relationship with Lu Yanhong. But since they treated me like this, the Yi family must compensate me with 500 yuan. The people around opened their mouths in disbelief when they heard the 500 yuan compensation. Even the Lu family was equally surprised, 500 yuan. Is this Lu Miaomiao was startled in his heart? Is there too much? Since I have spoken my mind, I can only grit my teeth and continue. Chapter 2. Golden Finger. You are listening at novel full.audio. It must be 500 yuan, otherwise. I'll go to the commune to file a lawsuit. The two of them have broken shoes, and we'll see if the meat factory wants such a dishonest person. Although the Lu family also thinks that 500 yuan is too much, having 500 yuan as compensation is always better than getting married again and suffering in the Yi family. So they began to unite with the outside world, regardless of the persuasion of the others in the brigade, and did not accept any other compensation methods. The Lu family demanded 500 yuan. 500 yuan. Are you afraid you're crazy, Lu Miaomiao? Only you. At most 20. Wu Dahua looked up and down at her and said disdainfully. Lu Miaomiao didn't get used to her either. Without saying a word, he walked out and shouted as he walked. Okay, I don't want 500 yuan either. I'll go to Xianyang commune right now. Someone is breaking shoes, and I don't believe the commune leaders won't handle it. Yi Weijun was very anxious now. He didn't expect that the girl from the Lu family who was always devoted to him would actually plan to report him. He quickly grabbed Wu Dahua's hand and whispered. Mom, we can't let her go. She really reported that the work at the meat factory was definitely ruined, and she will have to be criticized and sent to the farm. Upon hearing this, Wu Dahua became anxious and quickly blocked Lu Miaomiao's way. She earnestly advised him, Miaomiao, do you really have the heart to let your brother Wei Jun get criticized and lose his job? This forced struggle is not sweet. You also said you want to help them, so why not? 600 yuan. Lu Miaomiao interrupted her directly and extended his right hand to make a gesture of 6. Hey, why are there too many? Why are you? 700 yuan. Lu Miaomiao shouted again. 800 yuan. Lu Miaomiao looked ahead with a nonchalant expression, but muttered to himself, why haven't you stopped shouting? By the way, where is the road to Xianyang commune heading? Yi Weijun put his hands over his mother's mouth and quickly raised his hand to stop. Okay, 800 is 800. Lu Miaomiao breathed a light sigh of relief and calmly turned his head, I need to get the money within 5 minutes, otherwise. Okay. You wait. Yi Weijun squinted at her and gritted his teeth, saying. He grabbed Wu Dahua's hand and quickly turned around to run to the left, which was not close to home and needed to be faster. Wow. I didn't expect this kind of luck from the Lu family. It's 800 yuan, it's worth it. The Lu family is about to go hungry as soon as they see it, and the sudden 800 yuan is really timely rain. This world is difficult. Fortunately, we can share our rations next month. Let's grit our teeth and persist for another month. It's just that this seedling is suffering. It's probably difficult for this divorced woman to find another good family. Well, if I had to say it, I shouldn't have taken these 800 yuan. I wouldn't have let go of Yi Weijun, but he's going to work as a temporary worker at the meat factory soon. I heard his monthly salary can be around 1,250 yuan, but unfortunately it's cheaper than others. Lu Miaomiao pretended to be heartbroken and lay on Chen Xiaoya's shoulder, sobbing softly, never looking up no matter what others said. To avoid being noticed by this group of people, she should listen and see more, speak less, and do better. Time passed quickly as Lu Miaomiao listened to the gossip around him, and Yi Weijun rushed back on time in the 5th minute. Don't ask her why she knows the time, because no matter how many minutes it exceeds, it's the 5th minute. Yi Weijun handed the bag containing the money to Lu Miaomiao, with a hesitant expression and a hint of grievance. Miaomiao. Lu Miaomiao raised his mouth and lowered his head, then took the bag. A hint of joy flashed in his eyes, only because the system sounded again. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for robbing the rich and helping the poor for 800 yuan, with a special reward of 80 points. Please keep working hard. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for reaching 100 points and winning a lottery opportunity. Please participate in the lottery in a timely manner. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for reaching 100 points. The system trading mall has officially opened. Please list tradable items. The Lu family saw that they had received the money and pushed away the scumbag, then supported Lu Miaomiao and walked towards home. At this point, Lu Miaomiao had no way to travel back and could only temporarily follow them back to the Lu family. Furthermore, in this era where travel requires introduction letters and various receipts for shopping, she has no other destination. Fortunately, there are also the essential golden fingers for travel, so it shouldn't be difficult to survive. If you lack points, just find a scumbag. Lu Miaomiao looked at the adobe house in front of him with a dull expression, as well as the thatched roof that didn't block the rain at all. The miscellaneous things piled up in the yard were in a mess. The entire adobe house consists of 6 rooms, along with a kitchen and toilet, making it easy to see at a glance. Does this difficult life start with housing? I heard that in this era, people slept in the same room for more than 10 people. Sigh. Dad, she's going home. Chen Xiaoye pushed her stationary daughter and said with a soft expression, "Miao Miao, are you tired? Mom will take you back to the house to rest." After she finished speaking, she pulled Lu Miaomiao towards a small room on the left. There is a large wooden bed in the room, a table with half a leg missing, and a few comic books scattered on the table, as well as a girl's headband and comb. Lu Miaomiao was pushed down and could still hear the creaking sound of the wooden boards clearly as he lay down. She dared not move casually in an instant, afraid that the unstable wooden bed would collapse. Chen Xiaoye touched her hair and said softly, "Don't think too much. It's a good thing that such a man who steals food can discover it earlier, so we don't have to be harmed by him. You need to get a good night's sleep first. Mom needs to go out and make lunch. I'll call you to eat later." Lu Miaomiao nodded with a sorrowful expression on his face, pretending to be sleepy and closing his eyes. Chen Xiaoye let out a soft sigh upon seeing this, and then walked out of the room lightly. In the sea of consciousness, Lu Miaomiao appeared in an empty white room. In the room, there is a large basket on the left, woven from green bamboo, which looks very exquisite. On the right is the same large basket, made of black bamboo, which looks very mysterious. There is a large scrolling screen hanging in the middle, and to the left of the screen is a blue background photo of a black and thin girl. On the right is an introduction to the girl in the photo. Her name is Lu Miaomiao, age 16 years old, native place Lifeng County, Nanlin Province, and her identity is the granddaughter of the poor household Lu family from the first production team of Donghe Brigade in Xianyang Commune. The most prominent part of the entire screen is the line of text directly below the photo, with bright red flashing handwriting that has repeatedly caught Lu Miaomiao's attention. Host welfare. Lu Miaomiao's memory, available for purchase. Lu Miaomiao instantly understood that the person she possessed was Lu Miaomiao on the screen, the 16-year-old granddaughter of the impoverished Lu family. Chapter 3. System Mall. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. She curiously clicked on the purchase button above, and another line immediately popped up on the screen. Do you want to use 20 points to purchase Lu Miaomiao's memory? Lu Miaomiao quickly checked whether or not to understand the situation first. In this era, one must learn to calculate carefully, and points are rare. Her gaze turned to the screen again, and she saw several buttons at the bottom of the screen, from left to right. Available balance, daily tasks, recyclable, system mall, opened, and learning room, not opened. Lu Miaomiao clicked on each one to understand, and without further explanation, the unopened study rooms are currently unavailable. As for daily tasks, such as waking up on time, eating on time, studying on time, sleeping on time, and other daily habits, completing each task will earn 0.1 points. The main thing was still the system mall, and Lu Miaomiao looked at the large screen that suddenly appeared in front of her, her eyes almost overwhelmed. The entire screen is neatly arranged with various supplies, including everything to eat, use, and play with. In the mall, various disciplines such as language, technology, traditional Chinese medicine, and Western medicine are also sold, and even some simple martial arts secrets are also sold. The most magical thing is that there is also a flash sale area in the mall, where all items in the area can be purchased with only 1 point. The reason why it is called magical is because of these flash sale items. There are ordinary modern items, as well as technology products that will be eliminated from the future interstellar space, inferior pills that have been refined and discarded in the world of cultivation, various useless talismans from the world of cultivation, and various strange items such as prank potions from the world of magic. Miaomiao immediately clicked on the flash sale page, and the scrolling screen immediately displayed items that could be flash sold. There are very few types, only 5 to choose from. One is 100 kilograms of aged rice, and the other is 1,000 canned blind boxes, including expired fruits and meat cans. Miaomiao's eyes lit up. This can of food is good. 1 point earns 1,000 times the profit. Even though it's on the verge of death, there shouldn't be only 1 or 2 days left, right? She suppressed the immediate impulse and continued to look below the screen. Thirdly, the first generation of interstellar air conditioning earrings, adjustable according to surface temperature. Fourthly, 50 lucky candies, taking one can guarantee 8 hours of koi luck. Fifthly, 2,000 kilograms of grass that cannot be eaten. If the cattle farm goes bankrupt, a pair of golden gloves will be given as a gift. Miaomiao swallowed his saliva. What kind of fairy mall is this? The quality of this flash sale is really fantastic. She suppressed the urge to run out of seconds with her left and right hands, but still remembered the lottery opportunity mentioned by the system in her heart. We cannot impulsively consume points. In case the points are less than 100 due to a flash sale and we are unable to draw for free, it would be a huge loss. So Miaomiao withdrew from the system mall and his gaze was once again drawn to the most prominent center of the entire room. At this moment, there is a large lottery wheel standing upright in the middle, with the number 1 flashing in the middle of the wheel. The turntable notes various prizes, divided into 5 categories: life, skills, technology, learning, and fantasy. Miaomiao roughly looked around the entire turntable and found that the prizes could only be classified without any specific prizes. Upon closer inspection, she soon saw a small line of words at the bottom of the large turntable. Only draw categories, prizes are randomly distributed. Miaomiao looked at this line of words without much thought in his heart. If he could win the fantasy and skill categories, the random prizes would not be inferior. She took a deep breath and rubbed her palm again, attempting to dispel the bad luck in her hand. Then he raised his right hand and pressed the lottery button without stopping with his index finger. I saw the big turntable slowly turn around, then visibly accelerate its speed, turning faster and faster, so fast that I couldn't see any words on the turntable clearly. After a full half-minute, the big wheel finally began to slow down slowly until it came to a complete stop. Miaomiao immediately looked at the category drawn on the turntable and jumped up with a smile on his face. Skills are great, I don't know what random skills are. Just as she thought of it, a silver-white light suddenly appeared in mid-air. The light suddenly descended to her and the 3 words, Hercules, flashed, then drifted directly into her forehead. Miaomiao closed his eyes in surprise and felt the strength of his whole body for a moment. It is obvious that this powerful feeling is not what she or Miaomiao should have had in the past. If she were to attack the scumbag again now, he would surely fly a few meters away. She clenched her fist and waved it, and the force it carried told her how much force it contained. Miaomiao is extremely satisfied with having this kind of strong energy. With it, whether it's protecting oneself or dealing with scumbags, it's too easy. It's really timely. The lottery has ended, and the number in the middle of the big turntable has changed to 0. She finally glanced at the turntable and began to look forward to the next prize she won. Later, she shifted her gaze to the screen and raised her hand to press on the available balance. When she saw the 100 points clearly, she couldn't help but clap her palm happily. Lu Miaomiao opened the system mall again and went directly to the flash sale module. I first chose the flash sale of blind canned goods, and just as I pressed the flash sale button, a flash sale agreement flashed in the middle of the screen. She carefully read the agreement and roughly divided its contents into the following points. Firstly, all items in the flash sale area are 1 point, excluding shipping costs. Participating in the flash sale will deduct a shipping fee of 10 points per item by default, regardless of the quantity or weight of the items. Secondly, there is no after-sale service for flash sale items. Regardless of the quality of the items, returns or exchanges are not allowed if the flash sale is successful. Everything is based on the actual item received. Thirdly, if the defective products in the flash sale have exceeded their expiration date, they are not allowed to be resold in any time and space. If they act alone, the system will be stripped and they will be subject to legal sanctions in time and space. Fourth, all items in the flash sale area can be flash sold, and the update time of items is random. Generally, they will be updated once a month. Host who loves flash sales should participate in a timely manner. Kind reminder to system host. All items in the mall, including flash sale items, will be shipped in the current packaging of the host, so hosts can purchase with confidence and will not have any adverse effects on the host. Lu Miaomiao still quite agrees with this agreement, but only feels a little sore about the shipping fee of 10 points, after all, she is still a novice with only 100 points today. Worried that the item would be instantly killed by someone from another time and space, she no longer thought about it and simply clicked on Read and agreed. Chapter 4. First participation in flash sale. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The flash sale agreement was signed, and Lu Miaomiao selected all 5 flash sale items he saw into his shopping cart and immediately paid 55 points. When she confirmed the accuracy of the purchased order and the system showed that it was being shipped, she was still thinking about how the flash sale arrived in her hands. Suddenly, the black basket on the right made a prompt sound. New items have arrived, please check your inbox. Until the sound system started 5 times, Lu Miaomiao crouched down and looked into the basket. Sure enough, this basket is a treasure with infinite space. No matter how many items are purchased, it will never occupy space and remain spacious. Just before she could be happy, she saw a pile of items floating out of the basket. Looking around, aren't these the items she just flash sold? The item drifted and floated onto an empty shelf, sorting itself and placing it in a fixed position. Unexpectedly, this shelf also carries infinite space, no matter how many items you put down, there is no crowding. Lu Miaomiao immediately went to the front of the shelf and opened the black box with a blind box marked on it. The side of the box also wrote the remaining days until expiration. 30 days. Inside the box, there are 1,000 neatly arranged paper shell boxes, which are not big or small, just like the palm of a hand. She couldn't wait to open one of the paper shell blind boxes, which contained a tin can. The tin box was the kind of tin with no distinctive handwriting. Lu Miaomiao touched his hungry stomach and couldn't help but take out the can from the blind box. However, he saw the can start to grow bigger, and only stopped when it was the same size as an old-fashioned tin lunch box. She touched the can box in surprise, compared it to the size of the blind box, and was determined to follow the system in her heart. Only in this way can she eat and live well in this era. Lu Miaomiao didn't rush to open the can, but instead looked at the other 4 items, especially the lucky candy and the pair of golden gloves gifted by the grass. Candy is packaged in transparent glass jars, a colorful soft candy with only 50 pieces, and must be eaten sparingly. Skip the worn-out sack of hay first, and focus directly on the pair of shiny silk woven gloves. She picked up the gloves and squinted for a while without realizing the specific magic of turning stones into gold. She could only try putting them on and see. Sure enough, a series of introductions to the gloves came to mind after putting them on, and then Miaomiao took off his gloves and casually threw them back to their original place, regretting that he had exchanged 11 points for this inexhaustible pasture. That's right, these so-called golden gloves are meant to clean up cow dung and turn it into grass, and then feed it to the cows. After the cows finish pulling it, it turns back into grass, so these 11 points spent on integration are not worth it. It should be noted that cow dung from this era is very useful, as it can be used for composting or sun-drying as firewood. Where can I let her have a little girl gone? Miaomiao let out a soft sigh and looked again at a small gift box next to him. If nothing unexpected happened, this was the air conditioning earring that had been phased out by the interstellar system. Isn't this an IQ tax again? She opened the gift box and immediately saw the blue earrings inside, which were also ear clip style earrings, very user-friendly. She took out the earrings and directly clipped them onto the ear bone, and a prompt sound immediately sounded in her ear. Locked, select usage mode, hidden, open. Without hesitation, Miaomiao directly chose the hidden mode, and the blue earrings on the ear bone immediately disappeared, leaving only a very small mole. She reached out to touch her ear bone, but couldn't even touch it. Is this interstellar eliminated item too high? Tech. Great, after blind canned food, there is another convenience in life. Don't be afraid of the cold or the hot. If you are in a good mood, you will live better. At this point, only the 100 kilograms of aged rice remained on the shelf. With an equal attitude, Miaomiao reached out and opened the burlap bag containing the rice. How could the color of a bag full of white rice turn into old rice? She picked up a handful of rice and sniffed it up close to her nose, not believing in evil. Apart from the faint aroma of the rice, there was no musty smell, and the quality of this rice is fine grain in today's era. Let's put it aside for now. She doesn't have any reason to take it out for now, she will always find opportunities in the future. As for revealing the system or something, don't say she's a fake. Even if she really belongs to the Lu family, it's impossible for her to reveal it to a second person. It's impossible in this lifetime. After taking a look at all the items that were sold in seconds, it was definitely worth it. Apart from the 2,000 kilogram strange grass, everything else was very practical. Miaomiao returned to the screen holding the tin can, clicked to exit the empty flash sale page, and selected the prompt sound for refreshing the flash sale item. The main page of the system mall once again covered the entire screen. She clicked on the time and space store and registered her personal store according to the prompts on the page. The name of the shop is Era Characteristic Small Shop. Introduction. The shop specializes in selling special old goods from the 1970s, including stamps, grain tickets, cloth tickets, and other types of receipts. Other old products are randomly updated. Miaomiao also added a sentence in parentheses after the introduction of the small shop. If you have special needs, please contact the shop owner for consultation. After registering her personal store, she began searching for the selling price of related items in the mall. The first thing to search for is a store that sells vintage items, and there are 5 similar small stores in the entire mall. By comparing the items in several stores, it is obvious that they are really selling old goods. The prices for those old items that have been preserved for decades can be said to be varied. There are many items with less than 1 point, such as trendy nylon flower socks or Swan brand white pure cotton vests, etc., all of which only require 1 point and are free shipping. There are also various brands such as Phoenix brand's 28-bar bicycles, Panda brand's black and white televisions, Butterfly brand's foot sewing machines, and other large items. They are also extremely worthless in the system mall, and the brand new ones only require 50 points at the lowest and 100 points at the highest. On the contrary, some genuine bills have extremely high prices, with hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of points. For example, for a genuine cloth ticket, the selling price in the system mall requires 300 points. Except for the 10 points that the system needs to deduct, the remaining points belong to the shop owner. When it comes to this point, we have to talk about the service fee of the system. Within 1,000, 10 points will be deducted, from 1,000 to 10,000, 100 points will be deducted, from 10,000 to 100,000, 1,000 points will be deducted, and so on. So, Miaomiao decided to specialize in selling these high-priced items in his own store, or else deduct a service fee, and really don't have much income left. Chapter 5. The Memory of Miaomiao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Next, Miaomiao searched for prices of daily necessities in various shopping malls, most of which were similar to toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, and snow cream, with purchase prices ranging from 1 to 5 points. More expensive patterned cotton fabric earns 10 points per piece, while others such as peanut oil, rice, white noodles, and dried noodles are priced at 3 to 5 points per kilogram. Comparing these prices, and looking at my available balance, I only have 45 points left. Excluding the 20 points that I later purchased from the original owner's memory, I only have 25 points left. Miaomiao let out a soft sigh and muttered, "Ah, you're really poor. Why don't you find time to hang out in front of the scumbag?" Although she was so poor that she only had a few points left, she still bought 5 pounds of big white rabbit milk candy without hesitation, and there were no more 5 points left. Currently, there are only 20 points left. She suppressed the impulse to consume and immediately returned to the host's information page, directly using 20 points to purchase the original owner's memory, and then exited the system. As Miaomiao opened her eyes, 2 different memories flooded her mind in an instant. At the same time, she was struck by 2 memories and closed her newly opened eyes again. Her whole body also fainted due to the pain in her brain. In a daze, Miaomiao seemed to have his soul out of his body and arrived at a golden rice field, surrounded by a group of villagers watching the excitement not far away. Before she could react, she was suddenly pulled into the lively circle they were watching by a force. The scene that caught her eye was actually the one she had just traveled through, but the difference was that Miaomiao did not distinguish herself from the scumbag like she did. But instead, he ran back to the Liu family in tears and hid, letting the Liu family make a fuss and scold him, without intending to cut off contact with the scumbag. I would rather be a scapegoat, as there have been multiple disagreements between the scumbag and his family. When the Liu family finally found out that they were going to marry her to Su Dajuan, who had just returned from the military, they disregarded her and fell into the scumbag Yi Weijun. After the incident at Dongchuang, he cut off all ties with his family for the sake of being a scumbag and moved into the Yi family without any distinction. At this moment, Miaomiao also understood that these were the bits and pieces of the original owner's life, for the sake of the scumbag not loving his family, and for the sake of the scumbag not loving himself. She couldn't leave the original owner too far, and had no choice but to continue watching the original owner be treated like a servant by the Yi family mother and son. Since moving into the Yi family, the original owner has been busy. After finishing the household chores, he has been busy with his work. After resting in the field, he has to rush home to cook and do laundry. In short, it means doing the most, eating the least, getting up the earliest, going to bed the latest, and living in such a mess. Even if you're pregnant, it's still not easy to do things endlessly. After serving Yi's mother, you still have to wait on Yi Weijun, that scumbag, at night. If it's just a bit hard and tiring, Miaomiao will go with the original owner. Who made the original owner fall in love with his brain? He just knelt down and walked the path he chose. However, the scumbag couldn't change what the dog ate, and soon after, he became entangled with the scumbag girl Liu Yanhong, even bringing him back to the Yi family without caring about the original owner's feelings. The original owner naturally refused, crying and causing trouble, and even resorted to seeking death like last time. Of course, this time she wasn't so lucky. The Liu family lived far away and didn't care about her, so the original owner miscarried. Afterwards, the Liu family learned that they couldn't bear their own child to suffer this, so they approached the Yi family to support her. The result was good. Just as she tried to persuade her well, she was moved by the scumbag's sweet words and worthless vows. She once again abandoned the Lu family and forgave the scumbag. Lu Miaomiao watched as the original owner kept dying, constantly pushing the Lu family who truly cared about her further away. The original owner even secretly sold his 5-year-old younger brother, Lu Xiangxue, in order for the Yi family to have a few meals of meat. Turning around with 50 yuan to sell my younger brother, I bought a few pounds of meat and returned to the Yi family. I didn't care at all about my younger brother's future miserable life, nor did I care about how the Lu family felt. It can be imagined that the original owner's behavior completely angered everyone in the Lu family. They finally gave up on this vicious woman, and from now on, the original owner will no longer be the Lu family. At the end of the entire memory, the original owner, who was 8 months pregnant, was pushed into the cold river by a scumbag and a lowly woman and drowned. Lu Miaomiao breathed out a breath, almost applauding. It would be so reassuring for everyone if such a selfish woman had died early. She had just regained her composure from the heavy memory and was once again drawn into the second memory of Lu Miaomiao. That's right, Lu Miaomiao was reborn after being killed by 1 corpse and 2 lives. It happened to be the day she was scumbagged, and it was also the day when she had time to change everything. So after being reborn, Lu Miaomiao fiercely cut off his relationship with the scumbag and even directly reported the scumbag and the scumbag. Lu Miaomiao nodded with satisfaction. It was indeed a necessary scene for rebirth. Revenge the scumbag, be a good person again, or a new life. But in fact, a person who is inherently bad, do you want her to be a good person? It's even harder than dreaming. Lu Miaomiao, who had returned from his rebirth, aimed his eyes at Su Dajuan, who had not successfully married in his first life. Just because after the reform and opening up in 1978, the bold and meticulous Su Dajuan took advantage of local differences in prices to make a fortune, becoming the first 10,000 yuan household in Xianyang commune, and later became the richest person in the entire Lifeng county through his own efforts. Lu Miaomiao, who had suffered all the way, naturally wanted to use this profit to sit in the position of the future richest woman, so she killed. The person who killed was still his own cousin Lu Fangfang, and the reason for the murder was also simple, because the first generation who married Su Dajuan on behalf of Lu Miaomiao was Lu Fangfang. The method of killing is also simple. Lu Miaomiao ruthlessly pushed her trusted cousin into the river where she drowned, and that river was the one she drowned in the first place. Lu Miaomiao was once again subverted by this woman's values. She couldn't believe it. Even though she was a good card, why was she played like this by the original owner? After the original master killed someone, she was able to return to the Lu family without changing her face, as if all of this had nothing to do with her. In that era, there was no surveillance system to record the process of her murder, so Lu Fangfang was ultimately defined as herself accidentally drowning. In this way, Lu Miaomiao smoothly married the future richest man Su Dajuan, and her married life was initially happy and sweet. After all, Su Dajuan had served in the army and learned a lot of cultural knowledge. He understood the hardships of being a woman in this era, so he was very considerate and gentle towards Lu Miaomiao. But you should know that it was still 1973, and there were still 5 years left before the reform and opening up. How could Lu Miaomiao, who was determined to become the richest woman, endure any hardship? Chapter 6. Lu Miaomiao's Rebirth Memory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So, she started all kinds of trouble again, causing trouble for Su Dajuan, causing trouble for her in-laws and mother.in.law, and causing trouble for her family. In short, if she's not doing well, she definitely won't let anyone around her be doing well. Su Dajuan, who didn't have much emotional attachment to her, simply asked his comrades to find a temporary job at a county steel plant, and then left with a pat on the back. Su Dajuan only came back 1 day a week and didn't communicate with Lu Miaomiao. No matter how angry she was, she ignored her. Over time, even a woman who is not crazy has to cheat. That's right, Lu Miaomiao. She cheated. As for the object of the affair, it was a city resident. No, it should be said that it was Xia Ziliang, an educated youth who was transferred to the first production team of Donghe Brigade in Xianyang community. Xia Ziliyang's parents are both dual employees, so it's not difficult to find a temporary worker through connections. The difficulty lies not only in Xia Ziliyang's family, but also in his 2 sons and 1 daughter. Xia Ziliyang is the third in the family, neither up nor down, and it is inevitable that he will not be favored. Sending educated youth to lower levels is naturally hard work. Xia Ziliyang, a city resident who has never done agricultural work, how could he bear such hardship? The appearance of Lu Miaomiao perfectly solved his urgent need. He was both a food delivery person and a helper. He was also beautiful and charming, and even a scumbag couldn't refuse. One afternoon, Lu Miaomiao, who believed she had received true love, couldn't help but run to dedicate herself, and Xia Ziliyang naturally accepted it. I often walk by the river, where can I not get my shoes wet? Their relationship was quickly discovered by the team members, and how could Su Dajuan, a handsome man, accept an extramarital wife? In front of everyone's eyes, he decisively severed his marital relationship with Lu Miaomiao, which should be said to have severed the cohabitation relationship between his boyfriend and girlfriend, as they had not even obtained a marriage certificate. Good guy, even divorce has been saved in this way, and Lu Miaomiao went straight to live in the Educated Youth Academy with a flurry of clothes. Lu Miaomiao, a person who has been reborn in later generations, has a thick skin that no one can match. Even though everyone around her disdains to be with her, she can still entertain herself like living in heaven. Just when Lu Miaomiao thought the murderer would continue to live like this, the retribution of the heavens finally arrived, and Xia Ziliyang was able to return to the city. His parents in the county town arranged for him to be a matchmaker with the daughter of the leader of the meat factory through connections. As long as this relationship is established, he can return to the city and arrange to enter the meat factory. Upon receiving the news, Xia Ziliyang didn't consider it at all and chose to return to the city. After all, as a city resident with a high school education, how could Lu Miaomiao deserve it? Of course, Lu Miaomiao is not a fuel-efficient lamp. No matter how foolish she is still a person who has lived a lifetime. She is also a ruthless woman who does anything to achieve her goals. When she discovered Xia Ziliyang's intention, she decisively followed the sterilization folk remedies she had obtained in her previous life to gather all the herbs and poured them down on him fiercely. Lu Miaomiao thought she was going crazy with anger to do this, but it turned out that she was already 2 months pregnant, with Xia Ziliyang's only child in her belly. Although Xia Ziliyang was angry and wanted to kill her after learning about it, he had no choice but to endure it for the sake of his only child in this life. The subsequent development is clear at a glance. Lu Miaomiao threatened to get married to Xia Ziliyang with her belly, and then used the same old trick to threaten Xia Ziliyang's parents to arrange for them to return to the city. Lu Miaomiao was still successful. In that era, every family cared about their offspring. She held on to Xia Ziliyang's lifeline and lived a good life of clothing, food, and mouth. Of course, that's all. In the end, Lu Miaomiao died, bleeding heavily during childbirth and losing 2 lives. As the saying goes, good brings good and evil brings bad. When the time comes, the retribution will come. Seeing this, Lu Miaomiao finally breathed a sigh of relief. Is that right? Harm to others will eventually harm oneself, and retribution will not come, it's just that the time has not arrived. After receiving 2 memories, Lu Miaomiao opened his eyes and looked around. She knew that there were a total of 4 people sleeping in this room, except for her. The remaining 3 were the 3 daughters of the 3rd uncle of the Lu family. Perhaps it was a sequela of receiving memories, and she quickly accepted the fact of her time travel, as well as the annoying Lu family. It is necessary to mention the situation of the Lu family, who are top-notch families in the Donghe Brigade. What is the best quality? That's a model of being lazy and greedy, from old age to young, and even the whole team playing the autumn breeze. Of course, it's common to sneak around and slack off while working. The eldest parent was Lu Hongjun, the grandfather of Lu Miaomiao, and from then on, the female lead was Lu Miaomiao. He was not a good person from a young age. He was angry with his parents and angry with his older brother, and was kicked out of the family to rely on himself after only a few years of marriage. Lu Miaomiao's grandmother's name is Chen San Shun, which is truly the three great shuns of life. She was born smoothly into the Chen family and, as the only daughter of the Chen family, was doted on by her 5 brothers. This is the one great shun. Her second choice was to marry someone of the same kind, the Lu Red Army. The two people who enjoyed playing the autumn breeze were together, and their days were beautiful and full. This last move was to give birth to 3 sons and 3 daughters, which was the first in the Donghe Brigade. Both men and women were equal, and good times came. The third son of the Lu family is also famous in the brigade, with very good names. Lu Jianjun, Lu Jianxi, and Lu Jiangwo have completely different personalities and names. Lu Jianjun, as the eldest son of the Lu family, inherited the fiery temperament of the Lu Red Army completely. Apart from not hitting his wife or family, anyone who provokes the Lu family outside will be put in a sack by him. This set of burlap bags also pays attention to strategy. He is so wrapped that he can withstand being caught by the team for decades without any evidence to prove it. He is the kind of person who everyone knows was hit by him, but he is struggling to find evidence to prove it. Of course, since marrying his wife Li Li, he has restrained a lot. It's not enough if he doesn't restrain himself. You should know that Li Li is also a hot-tempered person. If you want a harmonious family, you must make appropriate changes. The two hot-tempered people are actually quite harmonious. They have never had an argument before and have given birth to 2 sons, namely 18-year-old Lu Xiangwen and 17-year-old Lu Xianghua. These 2 people are also top-notch. They don't love going to school and never go again after just 1 year of primary school. They are usually the second scumbags in the team, don't work hard, and even like to slack off and play tricks. When it comes to laziness and slip, we have to talk about the second son of the Lu family, Lu Jianxi, who is the biological father of this body. He is a famous lazy man in the entire Xiangyang community. How lazy is it? Lazy to the point where none of the girls in the surrounding brigade were willing to marry him. Chen Sanshun had no choice but to go back to his mother's house and beg for a few older brothers. In the end, Chen Xiaoya, the youngest daughter of Chen Erji, married into the Lu family. Chen Xiaoya, who was willing to marry Lu Jianxi, was naturally not a good man and a faithful woman. Chapter 7. Getting Rich. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Xiaoya, who also causes headaches for the Chen family, is no less top-notch than the Lu family. She was born with a lot of strength, but she's the spendthrift in the family. She's not bad at all, she's greedy and eats too much, and most families can't afford it. Of course, this doesn't mean that the Lu family is willing to be the scapegoat. After all, marrying such a big spender would make the poor Lu family even poorer. Mainly because of her strong strength and ability to work, the entire Lu family always needs to find someone who works hard and quickly, so that the whole family won't die at home and no one will collect the body, right? The Lu family, who married her, added fuel to the fire, and everyone couldn't eat enough. The Lu family, who are only 1/3 full, spend all their time figuring out how to beat others in the autumn breeze, except for working in the fields. Fortunately, Chen Xiaoya has a severe reaction to vomiting during pregnancy, and she is unable to eat anything for every 10 months of pregnancy. This has led everyone in the Lu family to hope that she can conceive more times, for no other reason, just to eat more during those 10 months. However, due to physical issues, Chen Xiaoya only became pregnant twice and gave birth to 16-year-old Lu Miaomiao and 5-year-old Lu Xiangxue, respectively. Lu Miaomiao won't say much more about this 5-year-old boy, Lu Xiangxue. This little guy has inherited his mother's great strength, that is, the children in the team are overbearing. A little boy just took dozens of younger brothers. Let's talk about the youngest son of the Lu family, Lu Jiangwo. As for the youngest son, he naturally grew up being spoiled by the two major parents of the Lu family. He didn't read much, so he could just graduate from elementary school. But this person can pretend. He likes to dress up politely, and he picked up a pair of worn-out glasses from somewhere. He spends his days wandering around the team wearing them. Not working, the external reason is that the body is too weak, making it inconvenient to work. In fact, it's still too lazy to investigate the reason and unwilling to work hard in the field. Ding Xia, the wife he married back home, was still found by himself. It is said that his family, like the Lu family, is in a state of hunger and poverty. Under such family conditions, Ding Xia married into the Lu family. Not only did the Lu family not give a dowry, but Ding Xia also married in the only old hen as a dowry. This is not something that the Ding family is reluctant to let their daughter endure hardship and grit her teeth as a dowry. It was stolen by Ding Xia before she went out, and it's a beautiful name. She raised it and will continue to raise it, and then she killed her that night and stewed the meat, which the Lu family couldn't eat. Everyone tasted half a bowl of soup. Ding Xia entered the door at the latest, but she gave birth to the most, giving birth to 3 daughters and preparing to give birth to a 4th. The 3 daughters are 17 years old Lu Fangfang, 13 years old Lu Huanhuan, and 8 years old Lu Lingling, who live in the same room and share a bed with Lu Miaomiao. Looking back on this, Lu Miaomiao no longer wants to reminisce. Such a top-notch family, how can they survive? She was about to swing her fist and tap on the bed to vent her anger, when she thought of her Hercules skills and quickly stopped. She didn't want to sleep on the bedboard at night. As she was feeling self-deprecating, a corner of her eye finally noticed the tin can that had been taken out, and she couldn't help but feel lost in an instant. Lu Miaomiao picked up the can and lifted the lid of the can. A fragrant fish aroma wafted into her nose. She fixed her eyes and saw that it was indeed a full can of fish. She swallowed her saliva and immediately put the lid back on, then withdrew the system space. It's too delicious, we can't eat it yet, otherwise it will attract the Lu family every minute. To avoid her mind full of canned fish, Lu Miaomiao picked up a little book and started reading it. There are only 3 little books on the broken table, which were bought by the literary man Lu Jiangwo from a scrap purchase station to appease his little daughter Lu Lingling. They are not only dilapidated, but also estimated to be missing pages. She casually flipped through the pages of the comic book, and suddenly had a flash of inspiration. She flipped back to the cover and saw the 3 big characters Red Lantern. Lu Miaomiao's eyes lit up, and he immediately brought over 2 other comic books, a relatively new one called Scumbags, and an equally dilapidated one called Wisely Taking Tiger Mountain. These 3 books all have the characteristics of the 8 model operas of the times. If they were to be sold in a commercial store, I don't know what the price would be. With this in mind, she no longer guessed and directly brought 3 comic books into the system space. Lu Miaomiao clicked on the system mall, then clicked on the item to be listed for sale, and immediately heard the system prompt sound. Please put the items that need to be shelved into the blue basket on the left. After hearing this, she immediately put 3 little books into it. In no time, the prompt sound rang again. Red Lantern is priced at 350 points, Wisdom of Tiger Mountain is priced at 300 points, and Scumbags is priced at 500 points. Is it available for sale? Lu Miaomiao's eyebrows and eyes curved as she clicked on the shelf, her mind began to calculate what more supplies to buy. Congratulations to the host for successfully listing the product for the first time, with a special reward of 50 points. Please keep working hard. Congratulations to the host for successfully selling all the products listed, earning a total of 1150 points. After deducting 100 points from the system service fee, there are 1050 points remaining. Please go to the balance check and use it. She impatiently clicked on the available balance, and when she saw 1120 points displayed, she jumped excitedly in place. Smiling, Lu Miaomiao immediately returned to the system mall and selected 1 to 10 points in the price range of the search bar. The search criteria were free shipping. The screen in front of me immediately flashed with a new image, listing various items. There are too many items, it's just a dazzling rhythm. When she thought of the current era, she added the words, defective products, to her daily necessities. As expected, there are fewer items appearing on the screen, such as toothpaste, toothbrushes, towels, etc., all of which are defective and pressed under the box, and the quality is a bit outdated. But their prices are beautiful. With 5 points, you can buy 20 toothbrushes, 10 vintage toothpaste, and 20 long cotton towels. People in this era uphold the spirit of hard work and simplicity, and only old ones can reflect their identity as 8 generations of poor peasants. While brainwashing herself, Lu Miaomiao continued to choose items, such as defective pattern cotton fabric, which is cheap. With 1 point, there can be 20 kilograms of defective fabric, and she must buy 5 points to justify this price. Defective nostalgic clothes, 5 points exchanged for 5 burlap bags of vintage clothes, female, brand new, no selection, random shipment, warehouse piled up for too long, some have odor, recipient takes photos. This is perfect for her, so she decided to buy 5 burlap bags. A batch of defective friendship brand Snowflake Pearl Cream, produced directly by Magic City. The flaw is that the bottle cap is not compatible and cannot be tightened properly. It is sold at a special price for 1 point and earns 5 bottles. It is not sold after sales and can be accepted by buyers. She touched her rough face and without saying a word, directly scored 5 points. A batch of defective white chrysanthemum soap with a box, produced directly in Tianjin City. The defect is that the soap has been stored in the warehouse for too long, and a small portion of the soap has seriously deformed, which does not affect its use. It is sold at a special price for 1 point and earns 10 yuan. If there is no after-sales service, it can be accepted by buyers. Lu Miaomiao added it to the shopping cart and used it to earn 5 points first. Chapter 8. 300 to the Brigade. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Next, Lu Miaomiao selected 5 pounds of fruit sugar, 5 cans of malt extract, 5 pounds of brown sugar, 5 pounds of dried noodles, 5 pounds of white noodles, etc. in the food category. Why are they all 5 pounds? She was also very helpless because the mall stipulated that food products should be at least 5 pounds free of charge. Having selected these items, she was about to exit the shopping cart and make the payment when she accidentally discovered a strange shop. The name of the shop is Wholesale, and the introduction of the shop is as follows. Our shop specializes in cheap wholesale of various large quantities of goods, with a wholesale volume of no less than 1,000 pieces. Storage space can be provided. Lu Miaomiao entered the wholesale shop and swept around, with a wide variety of sizes and sizes. She also specifically searched for wholesale products related to the era, and surprisingly, there were indeed products such as ice cream, headbands, lipsticks, radios, watches, sewing machines, bicycles, and so on. She looked at these greedily. The price was really half cheaper than buying them alone, with a minimum batch of 1,000 pieces, that's too much. Appetite is useless. Apart from ice cream, she can't afford to batch the rest of these goods. The main reason is that it's useless to batch them, and she can't sell them. Speculation and profiteering will be caught. After collecting the store, Lu Miaomiao immediately left and entered the shopping cart. After selecting all items, the total price was just over 100 points. She decisively submitted the order, made the payment promptly, and then waited for the goods to arrive. After 1 minute, the system prompted that the item had arrived. After confirming the purchased item, she directly exited the system space. When Lu Miaomiao opened her eyes again, she heard Lu Fangfang shouting to eat. So she quickly got up from the wooden bed and walked towards the main hall step by step. As soon as she stepped in, the hall suddenly fell silent. Miaomiao, come on, sit here and eat. Mrs. Lu looked at her granddaughter with a golden light in her eyes. Lu Miaomiao awkwardly smiled for a moment, without considering anything else, and quickly shouted, "Milk." After shouting, he sat down like the original owner without waiting for her to respond, and then stared blankly at the miscellaneous grains and a large pot of boiled wild vegetables on the table. Lu Miaomiao knew that life in this era was not easy, as it was difficult to eat and dress warmly. But as an old gnawing tribe with more than enough compared to others, I have never eaten such a hard steamed bun before, and this wild vegetable soup without any oil stars. She touched her stomach, which was growling with hunger, gritted her teeth and filled a large bowl of wild vegetable soup. Then, she tore the steamed buns into small pieces and threw them into the bowl, ready to soak and eat. The Lu family looked at her sharp bowl and then lowered their heads to look into their own bowl. They immediately followed her example and tore up the steamed buns, soaking them in water. Well, if we were to say that our family is still the smartest seedlings, it would fill a big bowl with just one dip. Aunt Li Li looked at her bowl with satisfaction. Aunt Ding Xia didn't want to be outdone and praised her, "That's not it. This is the only junior high school student in the family. Now she is still the most wealthy one in the family, 800 yuan. This is an amount she dare not even dream of, she must please." The two cousins, Lu Xiangwen and Lu Xianghua, looked at the wealthy cousin with a smile and said in unison, "Sister is smart. Sister is the best." If you ignore the suspicious liquid flowing from the corners of their mouths, Lu Miaomiao can still believe in their brother-sister love. Even the youngest younger brother, Lu Xiangxue, imitated their appearance, grinning and courting, "Sister, I love you the most." Lu Miaomiao scanned their faces one by one. This group of people, who were considered top-notch in the eyes of others, were the only ones in two memories who were kind to the original owner. Unfortunately, they were repaid with kindness. She let out a soft sigh and didn't rush to eat the hard-to-swallow soup. Instead, she took out the eye-catching 800 yuan from her pants bag. Through the memory of the original owner, who had learned about the price of goods, she finally realized how big this 800 yuan is today. Based on a person who earns a full 10 points in work, they can earn 20 cents or 25 cents a day for work. They work 30 days a month without rest, and when calculated higher, they earn 7.5 yuan per month, earning an annual income of 90 yuan. With some miscellaneous work points, the full score is 100 yuan. 800 yuan is equivalent to nearly 10 years of income, so no wonder the people in the brigade had a frightened expression at that time. To put it another way of thinking, it's really unusual for the Yi family to be able to come up with 800 yuan at once. Lu Miaomiao's eyes narrowed slightly. There is something strange about the Yi family. Shouldn't there still be a lot of gold, silver, and precious jade hidden in the house? I don't know if the system has the ability to recognize treasures. If it does, then I must secretly visit the Yi family. It's for nothing else, just to rob the rich and help the poor. The Lu family looked at the piles of money on the table and couldn't resist blinking their eyes. Coupled with the standard saliva movement, they looked like they had never seen so much money before. Cough. Lu Miaomiao coughed lightly and immediately made everyone's eyes turn to her. She patted the few piles of money with one hand and said, "Everyone knows what happened today. I am a person who has suffered a lot. These money are my compensation, but as a member of the Lu family, I cannot selfishly keep them all." Upon hearing this, the Lu family's eyes lit up as they watched with joy as Lu Miaomiao put away 3 stacks of money and there were still 5 stacks left on the table. Then she picked up a stack and placed it in front of the head of the family, Lu Hongjun, and another stack in front of the old lady, Chen Sanchun. After the allocation was made, she sat up straight and said, "The Yi family will compensate me 800 yuan. I will keep 300 yuan for myself, 200 yuan for my grandfather's milk, and the remaining 300 yuan will be given to the brigade." When Lu Jianxi heard that he wouldn't give it to his biological father, he even gave 300 yuan to the production team. He immediately shook his head in disagreement and said, "Girl, why do you give 300 yuan to the production team? What's up with them? No, we won't give it. Lu Miaomiao looked up at the others and saw that none of them agreed to take the money out, so he had to continue saying. A while ago, several cows in the team died of illness, and the team leader was worried that there was no extra money in the team to buy a calf. If we were to use the money to solve this urgent situation, not only would the team leader be grateful to us, but also other members of the team would look at us with new eyes. Besides, today everyone knows that we have obtained this unexpected wealth. If we don't use some money to stop their mouths, we don't know how to spread this gossip. The most important thing is that this little calf needs to be fed by someone. It's a full-time job 365 days a year. If I ask politely, don't you think it's difficult for them to refuse? The first 2 points were not taken seriously by the Lu family. They were used to it and were grateful for it. But when it comes to the third point, that's different. Chapter 9. Team Leader's Home Playing Autumn Breeze. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Feeding calves is a beautiful job. Not to mention, it's a leisurely job, and one can still work 10 minutes a day without hesitation. You should know that everyone in the Lu family, except for Lu Miaomiao's biological mother Chen Xiaoya, who works hard every day and earns 10 work points, can only earn 5 work points or even lower as a semi-laborer. If we can add another full work point, then the quality of life will be greatly improved. The Lu family glanced at each other and instantly felt that the 300 yuan was worth it. So, the parents of the Lu family, Lu Hongjun and Chen Sanshan, led the landing of the seedlings and knocked on the door of Captain Lu Fengshou. Along the way, the members of the team saw them both going out and were envious. Who can still have 800 yuan in their hands these days? Not to mention 800, there are not many companies that can even spare 80 yuan. The Lu family, who used to be the poorest in the team, quickly became the wealthy and idle family in the team. Many members of the team felt uneasy, with envy, regret, jealousy, knocking. The sound of knocking on the door of the squad leader's house rang out. Who is it? Why are you rushing to have a meal? A middle-aged woman walked out holding a big spoon. She is Fan Lichuan, the daughter-in-law of the team captain, and a well-known gossip woman in the team. No man from any family beats his wife, no daughter-in-law from any family angers her mother-in-law, and no one can escape her fiery eyes by drilling into the small forest with anyone. As soon as she opened the door, she saw that it was the second old man of the Lu family and Lu Miaomiao. Her eyes immediately lit up, and then she was worried that they might have an autumn breeze, and her face darkened slightly. Oh, what brings Uncle Lu and Aunt Lu here? Have you eaten yet? Come in and have some. She shouted, but didn't take a step back. Chen Sanshan is not a fuel-efficient lamp either. He saw this thin and weak old lady pounce on her and start singing in tears. Harvest wife, auntie, this heart is bitter. Those who kill thousands of dollars in the Yi family are bullying our 8th-generation poor peasant family, pitying us Miaomiao. At a young age, we were forced to divorce by 2 broken shoes. What should we do in the future? Watching her sleep and eat, what hope does the old lady have? This is to force the old lady to hang herself at their family door. Fan Lichuan, who was full of excitement, quickly took a step back, which was enough for the Red Army to pull the expressionless Lu Miaomiao into the door. The eldest son and grandson walked into the living room where they were eating with such familiarity. Chen Sanshan, who saw them successfully penetrate the other party's camp, didn't care to cry anymore. She pulled up her sleeves, wiped away her tears, and blew her nose. Then she took a turn and leaped over the bewildered Fan Lichuan, catching up with the leading grandfather and grandson. Oh, big nephew, are you preparing to eat? Coincidentally, my Miaomiao was so sad that she didn't finish her meal. The old couple also felt sorry and couldn't afford to eat, so we had to deal with one bite at big nephew's house. As soon as the Red Army entered the room, they began to shout and sat down without hesitation. They also grabbed a handful of Lu Miaomiao and finally waved to Chen Sanshun behind them. Lu Miaomiao looked at his familiar movements with admiration in his eyes. No wonder in this era where even if everyone is diligent, they can't eat enough. One of the reasons why the more than 10 members of the Lu family have not starved to death despite their limited work is their thick skin. Hey, no, we 8 people don't have enough to eat yet. Fan Lichuan reacted and immediately waved a big spoon, showing a tendency to use it to drive people away. Lu Miaomiao secretly glanced at the others, and except for the accustomed captain and the 3 people involved, Grandpa and Grandma Lu, they all had an expression of gritting their teeth and resentment towards the outside world. Woo-woo. My family's seedlings are suffering, I've been in this big trouble since I was young. Chen Sanshun sat on the bench wiping away his tears while giving a glance to Lu Miaomiao. Lu Miaomiao immediately lowered her head and pretended to cry, feeling empathy as she cried. She is suffering, she is sad. Why are you wearing a chicken leg at home? Is her father still going crazy with joy? Without her burden, his old and precious son would no longer be robbed of his property. Woo-woo. She's sad, she's going to cry. Cry loudly. Woo-woo, Captain Uncle, I feel bitter in my heart. I have been waiting for him for so many years, hoping for him for so many years, but in the end, they have bullied me to this extent. I just need to think about it, and my heart hurts too much. Woo-woo. Crying is okay, but the play still needs to be performed. Lu Fengshou was also angry. No matter how much he didn't grow up, it was still his own family in the Lu family, let alone his niece who had been bullied since childhood. Although Fan Lichuan's teeth were still itching with anger, she couldn't help but feel a bit pitiful when she saw the landing seedlings crying so loudly. What a heinous act. A good girl, who else in the nearby team would be interested in this marriage after it's over? So, despite the hard work of a few people, they ultimately stayed and ate this meal. Lu Miaomiao was so happy to eat. Although there was no meat, there were eggs. Even though the amount was small, she only ate a few chopsticks and didn't have any. No, we must find a reason to take things out without being discovered, otherwise how could she, who is used to enjoying happiness, endure such hardship? When Lu Fengshou saw that he had finished his meal, he directly asked, "Tell me, what are you here for this time? The Yi family is not kind, didn't you take 800 yuan from them? Let's just forget about this. It's really ugly to start a scene. Besides, there is also Lu Yanhong in the middle, who is both from the Lu family and the granddaughter of her second uncle. Although we have split up, the family that has broken bones and connected tendons has always been one family. What can we do if we continue to make noise? Rumors have spread, but it's still the Lu family who lost their share. The Lu Red Army had eaten and drunk enough, and their mood improved. Big nephew, look at what you said. We won't seek your help from the Yi family. Since they gave them 800 yuan in compensation, our Lu family has nothing to do with them. Oh. Are you all here? I can't really go to his house specifically to enjoy the autumn breeze, can I? They didn't have the courage to come to his house before. To be honest with my eldest nephew, I really can't bear to part with this matter. Everyone knows that our Lu family is so poor that it sounds like a clang. But as my granddaughter, she has a heart to help the brigade. As elders, we can't refute her determination to fight the brigade, can we? Chen Sanshun, who had eaten several bites of eggs, was also in a good mood. Lu Fengshou, completely bewildered by these two couples, became increasingly confused as he listened, so he had to turn his gaze to Lu Miaomiao next to him. Young people can always understand, right? Lu Miaomiao immediately straightened his waist and said, "Uncle, we all know. A few days ago, several old cows in our team died, and our team is worrying about the money for buying calves, isn't it? Yeah, there's really no extra money left in the team these years. What are you thinking? This is something that everyone in the team knows, there's no need to hide." Chapter 10. Money paid to the brigade. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right. In the past, our Lu family was really poor and had no choice but to be powerless. Today, this incident caused trouble, so I decided to help our team. Otherwise, I wouldn't have demanded 800 yuan from the Yi family. However, on the other hand, this Yi family is really not ordinary. They can take so much money as they want, and those who don't know think they have dug up the gold and silver of the landlord's family. Lu Miaomiao finished speaking and also tricked the scumbag man's family. The speaker was interested, and the listener was even more interested, which planted the seeds of doubt for Lu Fengshou. Lu Miaomiao saw that the betting was almost done, so she took out 3 stacks of money from her pocket and placed it grandly in front of Lu Fengshou, saying, "You know my grandfather's body is weak, so I left 200 for them for urgent needs, and the remaining 300 will need to be exchanged with my aunt and them for some food. These 300 will be used to buy calves for the team. Don't underestimate them, uncle." Her act of tossing money instantly stunned the family of Lu Fengshou. 300 yuan, she said she would give it and actually gave it. Fan Lichuan snatched the 3 stacks of money and counted them 3 times before swallowing her saliva and saying to her husband, "A whole 300, no more, no less." Lu Fengshou. What kind of family has Uncle Lu gone crazy about? 300 yuan exactly. Seeing their disbelief on their faces, Lu Miaomiao confidently patted their thin and weak chests. "Captain Uncle, you can accept it on behalf of the team. I have selflessly contributed to the team. Like my grandfather, I have always sacrificed myself to help others." Lu Fengshou. Like Uncle Lu. Red Army. Like him. He couldn't bear to take out 300 yuan. Fan Lichuan and her family looked up at the sky and said, "It's not dark yet, why did they just open their eyes and talk nonsense?" Lu Miaomiao blinked and felt a sudden surge in her heart. "It's going to be terrible, this cow is boasting to the sky." She rolled her eyes and slammed the table, arguing, "Yes, like my grandfather, he is a person with thoughts and consciousness. Think about how difficult those 3 years were back then. Everyone was in the era of digging tree roots to eat guanyin soil. My grandfather moved out of the Lu family just to eat more for his family." Lu Fengshou thought to himself, is this the reason why Uncle Lu left the Lu family back then? "Oh, why didn't you say it earlier? I was unjustly accused by the team members for so many years." Fan Lichuan can't control so much. She knows that such a big gossip can talk a lot with her little sisters tomorrow. The bewildered Red Army seemed to be awakened and said, "Ah, what big truth are you talking about, girl? Your master has survived for so many years, so don't say these words in the future." That's right, the Lu Red Army has thoughts and consciousness. They moved out of the Lu family in order to save food for their family. It's not because they were lazy and kicked out of the Lu family by others. "Grandpa, you are my pride. Our Lu family is proud of you," said Lu Miaomiao, wiping away her tears as she immediately entered the state. Good granddaughter." Lu Hongjun was almost moved by himself. Lu Fengshou sighed lightly, unsure of what to say for a moment, and simply turned the topic back to 300 yuan. "Miao Miao, tell uncle, are you really willing to give this money to the team to buy a calf?" Lu Fengshou carefully confirmed. Lu Miaomiao nodded 3 times in a row and said, "I am willing. Only when the team is good can I be better." "You said it well, you said it too well. Indeed, Uncle Lu taught it well. Since that's the case, I will accept this money on behalf of the brigade, and record this work score for you at the end of the year. The brigade will hold another commendation meeting another day to discuss this matter well." Lu Fengshou immediately took over with satisfaction. Upon hearing his words, the 3 members of the Lu family also showed satisfied smiles. Returning home, Lu Hongjun recounted the matter and then said to a group of people who were dragging their feet at home, In the future, every member of our Lu family must have thoughts and consciousness. We must be good members of selfless dedication. Lu Miaomiao. Isn't Grandpa Lu being fooled by her for a few words and ready to reform? Chen San Shun. Selfless dedication. Let others contribute to them first. Lu Jiaqi and others said, Did you receive ideological education just after going out? The Lu Red Army began his lengthy speech, and his sudden passionate spirit made Lu Miaomiao awkwardly support his forehead. Mom, if I feel dizzy, I'll go back to my room and sleep for a while. Remember to wake me up for dinner at night. Brainwashed, but I still have to eat. Lu Fangfang reached out to help her and said, Sister, help you go. You're really. It's too dangerous. Lu Huanhuan watched the two ungrateful sisters leave the stage. Her eyes turned and she said hurriedly, Sir, Miaomiao said that she would teach me how to count, and I would like to be a good member who studies hard and makes progress every day. The youngest Lu Xiangxue and the 8-year-old Lu Lingling, relying on their young age, followed a few sisters and left together. They don't understand what Grandpa means, they just find it annoying to listen to. The remaining members of the Lu family looked at their departing figures with aggrieved eyes, originally thinking of finding an excuse to leave. Unexpectedly, they were stared at by a bull from the Lu Red Army and were too scared to move. Lu Fangfang let go of Lu Miaomiao's hand and let out a strong breath. Fortunately, we escaped in. I don't even know what the master thinks. Be a good member of the society, we Lu family must starve to death. That's to say, if I don't slack off and earn work points, I might as well starve to death. Lu Huanhuan shouted softly as she lay in bed. Looking at their boneless appearance, it's hard for Lu Miaomiao to imagine how they grew so big in this era. Well. Wan, your thinking is wrong. You still need to earn work points, mainly based on how to earn them. If you can easily earn work points, there is no need to be lazy. Lu Fangfang and the others looked at her in surprise and said, Are you really Lu Miaomiao? It doesn't seem like you can say that. Lu Miaomiao was taken aback and said, I am no longer the same Lu Miaomiao as before. I have already been infuriated by 2 pairs of broken shoes. Now, I just want to have enough to eat, wear warm clothes, and live a good life. It's better than anything else, don't you think? The two nodded one after another. Who doesn't want to have enough to eat, wear warm clothes and live a good life? But the problem is that the Lu family doesn't have this fate. So, you have to earn this job. If you want to live a good life, you have to earn more. Take me for example. When the calves and the team come back, I will apply for a feeding job, which is a full job. One of you is 1 year older than me and the other is 3 years younger than me. It's not excessive to get at least 5 job points, is it? In order to have the right to speak in this room in the future, Lu Miaomiao also wants to unite the front in the sisters' few miles. Lu Fangfang is fine, occasionally getting a 5 work point. As an older sister, please work harder.